This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with that prize guy. I'm delighted to be joined once again on Zoom with Mr. Big Bang Pierce O'Leary. How are you?
More good, Steve. More good, mate. You know what? Credit to you. Always reaching out, getting an interview. All credit to you. I'm good, mate. Good. Been a bit quiet, but a lot of work been going on in the background. So, um, yeah, no complaints really. Here and now, based in camp.
It seems to be every time we speak, you're in camp in Liverpool. It seems to be, it's not that, obviously, we normally do the interviews around fights and things like that sometimes. So it's not like, the best time sometimes to get you when you're in camp. Obviously, you have another new addition at home now as well. So I guess home's the worst place to get you for interviews because there's extra mice to be fed, extra noises about the house.
Yeah, you won't catch me at home. Nobody will. It's just I'm just too busy. I do forget to do things I have to do myself. I forget to do them that busy. So when I'm in camp, that's probably the best time to catch me.
Is it, in the past, we've obviously, I know that Dave Siani's always been the big one on it, and obviously saying you're like Clark Kent, obviously, with the glasses on, you're just a normal person when the glasses come off, you're Superman. Is that
Yeah,
is that probably a fair reflection for you probably in life? Like you've two different egos in life. Like obviously you've there's so much passion, you're away from home in camp, but whenever you're at home, you nearly sometimes you forget you're a fighter because you have to live your normal life with your missus and the kids.
yeah, um, yeah, and no, but in the sense of it gives you that more. Sometimes it takes you away from the gym a little more, and you like obviously if you want to obviously you want to stay fit or live the lifestyle. So staying fit, I'm running around with kids. So I'm running around with my little girl, bleeding, pulling her and the horse around. I'm running around the field with her. So if I'm not doing 10K on my own, I'm at least doing 8K with a horse and her. Do you know, that's the difference. So that's how we stay fit. And yeah, again, it's a nice break being able to be with the family back home. Do you know what I mean? And stay out of the gym because if I don't stay out of the gym, these camps that I do over here in Liverpool with Joe and that, they're just so intense. You be burnt out if you don't. So you got to listen to your body. More so for myself, I got to listen to the team. Team is they're the ones that tells me don't train, do this, do that. If you're gonna train, work on this, not crazy. So it balances itself out when I'm at home. It does balance itself out, but it's a busy schedule at the same time.
Speaking of obviously of home there, am I right in saying before you started camp you were away doing a lot of mountain running? Was that correct? Or was it mountain trekking, or were you doing mountain running? What were you up to?
Oh, no mountain running. So what happened was we were meant to have the homecoming in August, and that fell through. So we were geared back up to go. Found out 3 days, 4 days later after the fight that wasn't happening. So that was the Liam Dinham fight. After that fight, the 7th of June. So we didn't. I was just a bit pissed off, to be honest, just there. So what happened was me strength and conditioning coach Paul Turner. He was training for an ultra marathon, which was I think he was doing 80+K. So with me running, I love running. He loves running. I'd be doing a lot of miles, doing hundreds and thousands of miles together. So yeah, it was just like I'm training for an ultra, and it wasn't in a sense of he's training for an ultra. I'm gonna train for an ultra. It was like gives a shout, gives your schedule because what it is for me is it's me having a schedule at home around my family of training. Which if we're training 8 in the morning, I know my training done at home to be a family man again. So that was one of the main keys there. So he went on every day. He said, "This is what I'm doing. I'm running. I'm straight in the morning. I'm running again. I'm this intervals." So I ended up doing a full. Literally ended up doing a full prep of ultra marathon work, and I played around like something like 60 odd. I think it was 58K, 58 kilometers from Dublin to Glendalough, the Wicklow Mountains.
I
All
remember Mick Conlon obviously was doing marathon running and he was saying like, being a boxer all your life and then going and doing the marathon running, he was like, it's not that he was bored of it, but it was a different sort of intensity. Did you find that with doing that training, like you were sort of going, why would people do this? And most of the time, if people are doing it, they're not getting paid for doing it, so it's nearly like a hobby. Did you find it sort of weird in some ways doing it?
No, it was very enjoyable because the reason why it's enjoyable is I love running, I love training, and we're going out and doing that. I'm feeling that kind of bone in the legs and the heart, the toughness. That's what I love and that's what I chase. So when I was running up the mountains and I could feel the bone and I could feel the chest getting heavy, and it just takes you back to a fight again. You know, you're in that mode again. Let's go, and that was it. You know, but when you're running over the mountains, you're running down on a decline and a descent, and they're running down so fast. The adrenaline buzz that's actually going through the body is insane. It's hard. I can't describe it. But then you go back up you build your way back up to the top of the mountain again. You see the views. You're looking over Dublin Bay. It's priceless, mate. It's
Yeah.
priceless. And sometimes the night before I don't sleep going. Do you know what I mean? Knowing that that's the view that I'm gonna have in the morning.
It's a reward for obviously all the hard work. Like, how do you think I will have added something to this camp in some ways where, not that you're never not fit going into a camp, because that's always your primary game. They sort of get fit before you go into camp, so it's more the technical stuff rather than trying to lose weight and things. Like, do you find that added something to this camp where, you've got extra strength, you have extra power?
Yeah. To be honest with you, it has. It's it's at the building. It's so after every camp, I like to progress or where I left off rather than restart again and try to build back up. But it's definitely at the sustained me fitness level for sure. Like I'm not rebuilding. I never rebuild anyways. I'm just always building out the block that I left on. And while I was outside camp, I actually built on the block again once again, and then went back into a camp to build them extra. So it's just like it's literally compound interest, and that's exactly what it is. And the benefits of it, yeah, you maybe I don't, maybe I do, but I think on the track and the running and all the sessions I've been doing, I've been pissing them. So I think it's done something for me.
You've turned into a wee bit like Forrest Gump. Remember Forrest Gump in the film? He just kept
Yeah,
running and running and running.
yeah.
Does that what it feel like with the ultramarathon? You're just trying to think of quotes and phrases to keep you going because it's tough work, the ultramarathon.
Yeah, it is tough work. It's physically it's not hard. Mentally, it's hard. Mentally, reason why it's so hard mentally is because you're running and you feel like you're getting nowhere because you're in the same view, and you look like you're watching 2 hours later, you still feels like you haven't got anywhere, but you have to do 20 odd K. Do you know what I mean? So in that aspect of things, it's weird. And then when you're running and the mind is tired, that's when injuries start happening because you're not picking your feet up. You're just
Dragging yourself along.
dragging along. Yeah, just dragging yourself along, and you could hit a brick and hit a bit of a stone sticking out of the ground, and you can go up, torn over. And it's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. But there was a time we ran through the Wicklow Way around Wicklow Moor, and there was a film getting made, and the film was, I'm sure it was a Civil War film from America. And they all had the car shields, they all had the guns, all the rifles laid out on the table, and there's a few horses and a few in a pen in a pen that was built. But our direction where we were going, we had to go through there to go up the mountain and come back, obviously, Well, we just got going and we went through these barriers with two lads at the gates. They couldn't catch us, we were gone. But we actually ran through the film getting made.
So you're waiting for it to
Um,
come out there to see if you're a guest part in the film.
so that was the story of that was the funny situation of the whole story, you know what I mean? Of running through a Civil War film getting made up the mountain and then coming back down through it. Like that was tough. And then we ran out of fuel. We hadn't got enough fuel because we didn't realise how long we were going to be running for. We didn't think we were going to be running for 36 K. So we just brought enough just for an hour and a half or 2 hours. And on the way back, come back to the car park, where all the people get fed and all on the Oaks. We went to the set. We ran up to a cafe, a canteen, and all had all laid out all the fruits, the water, the juices, the sandwiches and all whatnot. Was a typical lad from Leyden, Dublin, went up, got a bit of water off them, begging for a bit of water, would have turned their back, had me whole bag full of sandwiches and apples and bananas and got going. And we got all filled up another 10k there. So yeah, that was the buzz about it, yeah. Through the whole summer, that was me summer, which is great.
Last time out, obviously in June, Portman Road. I know it's not a big task for you, Pierce, because you have bigger ambitions, and you said this to me previously. But becoming European champion, becoming the second man since Paul McCluskey to become a European champion at super lightweight. Probably looking back on it now, does it feel like a bigger deal for you in some ways, or does it still feel, because your goals, world titles, and everything else, like that's another milestone ticked off for you?
Yeah, it's another milestone ticked off, and I wouldn't take it for granted. I'd actually look back at the moment and say, what a fantastic fight. I could only deal and look as good as the guy that was put in front of me. Like from Dublin, European champion, EBO champion, fantastic. What more would you want, you know? And then obviously doing it and getting the win against a very negative fighter. Didn't want to play any part of it. You look at his fights before and after me, he was a pressure fighter. He thought he was going to outbox me, which technically he didn't do, and he couldn't do. And he just made the fights just so boring. He was there to survive in my eyes. So look, I just went there, done what I had to do, stick to the game plan. And if I knew before the fight that Dublin wasn't happening, I probably would have stopped them, because I wouldn't have having that fear of getting cut or breaking a hand or doing something stupid in a fight just to look good. Or I just played the board. And I remember Mayweather saying, doesn't matter how good you look once you get the win. And that was my thing. Going through the fifth things, I don't think it was 6 rounds. I said to Joe, just keep playing it safe. And he went, no, let's go through the gears. But I just couldn't break that barrier of going through the gears, take him out of there, because I had the fear of getting injured or getting a cut that wasn't going to be me the biggest dream and the biggest goal in my life, fighting at home in front of blah 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 seats. I didn't want to make that. I didn't want to miss that opportunity. You know what I mean? So now, looking back at it, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is.
Like fighting at home, Pierce, we've spoken this many, many times. Fighting at home means so much to you. It's always been very, very close. And was it annoying for you in some ways where you knew the fight was coming up and you couldn't sort of go 100% because, as I say, injuries, head clashes, the last thing you wanted to do was be pulled out, and a card happened with Queensberry and Dublin and you not being part of it and going, you then kick yourself more for it?
That would have killed me. That would have killed me. That would have been not nice. To be honest with you, he could have offered me 200 grand to go and sit there and interview and do whatever you wanted. Or turn the opportunity down. I wouldn't want to be in the arena. It wouldn't sit right with me. So that, and people don't see that, people don't see that. People just think of performance, but I had a lot of shit going on. Through that, you're looking at like how many tickets can we do, this, that, getting out. Like, to be honest with you, you're actually looking over Lane Dinnan and then just think about Dublin. You know what I mean? That's the lads. So which wasn't a great thing, it wasn't very professional, but it is what it is.
Is it another sort of experience thing banked in this pro game? Because every day you're learning in
this
game.
You know what? To be honest with you, it was a massive lesson as well. A massive lesson. It was great. And I think that actually the pros of the lessons outweigh the cons of it. So it was a win-win situation now, and look back at it, and through the whole moment, I actually appreciate it.
When you go into your fight this weekend, obviously I know that's not the probably level opponent you would expect to sort of have, but like for you, you've probably demons in your head from June where you weren't able to show exactly what you were about. Like so, this opponent on Saturday night's probably going to get the brunt of how the after effects of June's been for you.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to get out. Just get out, get the ball rolling, just get back in. Like I know with the situation where the other main event with Cesaro and we falling through, we were meant to be on that card the week later in Manchester, but we didn't know whether we were going to be fighting in December or not. So we needed a fight in December. So I said to myself, look, wherever it is, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm going to just stay here and do just a complete full camp just so I can get the preparation in that I need to get in. And I stayed focused, put out good vibes. Never, I just said it is what it is. And all of a sudden, I had a fight date. It was like, yeah, right sound. That was it. A week earlier. Better again. Be something, get me fight, go home to my family then. And I actually can rest a little bit longer now before I start my next camp because it's a week earlier. So a week will make a big difference for me, you know what I mean?
And like if I'm right in saying from what obviously is on box rec, this fight's going to be at welterweight as well. So you've extra pounds and not to lose. So like Pierce O'Leary potentially at 147 rather than 140. That power comes up as well. That's going to be even more devastating for this opponent.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But I didn't even know that was that welterweight. To be honest with you, I thought so. I'd probably still come in at 144, 145 if needs be. The weight is not an issue. The weight is sound. But welterweight, I guarantee I'll be at the night before the weigh-in. I'll be having a nice big Häagen-Dazs ice cream. That's for sure. That's for sure. But camp is it's gone. It's gone. It's probably one of the best camps I've ever had in my life. And why I'm saying that is just like no stress. Everything just went so smooth. Sparring, got fantastic sparring. The likes of Stephen Kearns, who I heard is going to be on the bill as well in March. He's tip top shape. Got great rounds with him. Frankie Stringer, fabulous rounds I got with him as well. Also, right through the whole camp. He's fighting as well soon in December. He's peaking. So yeah, we've been mixing it all. We didn't know what style we're gonna have for this fight. We didn't know what we're gonna be dealing with. So we were like, whoever we can spar, we're gonna spar. Whether that was Southpaws, Orthodox. You have two left hands or two right hands, it doesn't matter. We just didn't know what we needed. So we were sparring everybody and we were just getting the rounds in.
What do you know, obviously, of your opponent this weekend? Obviously, he's Argentine, so obviously Argentine opponents are tough and durable. Obviously, I know the record's 5-5. You know, he doesn't have any stoppages, so probably in some ways you may not have much to fear and what's coming back at you. But probably for you, probably you have to be completely switched on because if you, for 1 second, overlook this opponent, things could go badly wrong for you.
Look, like say the way it is, mate, that's his golden ticket to try beat me or try do put a good performance in against me and win. Where will he be if he does that? He's gonna be he's gonna get more work from that, you know. So look, I'm not overlooking anybody. I never will. I always treat everybody the same, as I said from the start, and by doing that, in your eyes it might not be, but in my eyes it's the world title fight. This is my homecoming fight. Do you know what I mean? And that's the mindset I have going into this fight.
Want to obviously get your thoughts on Irish history being made this summer. Obviously, Paddy Donovan, and obviously you shared a debut card with in Belfast. Him and Lewis Crocker, you know, both being the participants in the first All Irish World Title fight. Like that, another moment for you, Pierce, where you can sort of look at maybe somebody like Lewis, where he's had inactivity, he sort of didn't fight for over a year and a half. Two Irish lads fighting for world title does nothing but fill you with pride. They know that two guys are laying it all on the line. They fought twice last year, but they also made history, and one of them ended up becoming a world champion out of it.
It's you couldn't write it. You couldn't write it to them. You know, it was fantastic performance. Both of them, hats off to both of them. That's all I've got to say. I'll tell you what, the fans loved both fights. Everybody loved it. What did he do? 20,000 seats in Windsor Park.
I think it was about 20,000. They kept the stand. They didn't use one of the stands, but I think it was about 20,000. But they think of the magnitude.
20,000 for two lads from Ireland for a world title fight. Tremendous, tremendous. You wouldn't even get that over here in Britain. Do you know what I mean? So that's how much the Irish boxing is booming at the moment. There's a massive market there, but no one has heard it yet completely. You know, but hopefully we can get that soon.
Yeah, it was the. I think the first fight in March was like about 7,000 in the SSE. They then triple it. You know, obviously with the controversy and things like that in the first fight, they then triple the attendance for Windsor Park. It's, you know, and both lads have never probably been regarded as being, yes, there's a talent, but never been regarded as being the big ticket sellers, the big draws. But you know, I guess out of that fight, both come away with their heads held high.
Yeah, both champions at the end of the day for doing what they done. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a win-win situation there for two of them. You know what I mean? It's fantastic, and it's just going to be bigger and better now. I think. Look, if Paddy gets through Paro, and you have a trilogy, that's history there alone. Like what the fuck? Three fights. You can't even really have one fight. Never mind three. Like it's crazy for Irish boxing. It's nuts, but it's great though. It's great. Everybody needs everybody. The more world title fights back in Ireland, the better. Do you know what I mean? The better.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where we are with that. It's I'm looking forward.
I do obviously have to ask, obviously, on vacating the European title, did things sort of change? Like there was obviously a bigger fight in the pipeline on the Chisora card. You know, is that what led to obviously vacating the European title? What was the reasoning behind that? Because obviously I know that it was sanctioned to fight John Fernandez.
Yeah, so we got sanctioned to fight John Fernandez. We lost the post bid, and we won the post bid actually in the last bid. And that was supposedly gonna have a suppose that was the homecoming. I don't know whether you were saying the National Stadium or something along the lines of that. And then obviously that never happened. And then we John Fernandez then he supposedly he fought again. Sorry, he signed for a fight and announced the public. So I got the right then to go and fight for it then. So that's how Liam Dillon stepped in.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost the post bid then to go to Spain. And obviously the money wasn't great. So I was like, look, we don't need to risk the opportunity going over there because we knew of a passable fighter who went over there. And he was coming off two losses, so we had no choice. Plus then changing management, etc. through that whole period. So really boxing wasn't in I wasn't really focusing on boxing at the moment. It was more so focused on the business side of things. We get things right. And then we are getting a massive fight for the 13th of December. And obviously the card fell through, so yeah. And we're left with this fight now. And get this one out of the way, then we can push on.
Was it worrying at the stage whenever the Tesoro card, you know, because I'm sure as a fighter, you know, you only get paid for the sort of fight you have at times. Was it worrying whenever you were seeing the news of the Tesoro fight being off and going, I put this money in the account. I don't want to be losing money. Not that you're not losing the experience of another camp, but you want to have that end product into the camp and have a fight.
It was more so frustrating, Steve, knowing like what's next, where are we at now? Do you know what I mean? And that was the thing about it, like where are we at now, what we doing? And there was no answer. So Queensberry, they just got it wrapped up quick for me and said, right, you're fighting on this date. I'm actually thinking main event, don't we?
Main event, yeah.
Main event, yeah. Main event, but like at that time, we had loads coming over from Dublin to Manchester. And then I don't know how many's going to come to Nottingham now because it's a bit difficult to get to from flights, but it is what it is. But obviously, we'll go in. It's great being main event, having a little bit of pressure, going out, putting performance on, getting the win. Touch wood, please God, injury free, and then we'll crack on there for the big one then that we have planned.
The first time main event, am I right in saying that? Obviously, because obviously with COVID and things like that, I remember the smaller cards. I can't remember if you headline one before. Is this your
No,
first?
no, that's my first. This is my first headline. Yeah, that's right. It's the first headline.
So the feel
Yeah.
space. I know it's obviously a smaller venue you've been used to, but obviously that's it's like making your debut, it's your first headline appearance. It's something you're always going to remember.
Yeah, no, it's no, like, look, I appreciate the moment, I appreciate I'm just getting out, but it's only a fight to me. It doesn't matter if it was on a half for the day, Steve. Once I was fighting, once I got the preparation from the camp, fight week, box, sticker all, put the game plan all together, right through from the whole week, fight night, showers, right, you can wash our hands then, right, we have this to a T. Let's move on to the next camp and work on something else now. So for me, that's all it was. It was all about just snowfall, and getting things right in a way where we're not being stuck, because in the past we were stuck on doing certain things, and certain opponents change like quick, and I was like, here we are, what we doing? So yeah, snow. So that's where we are there with that. Yeah.
I know Christmas is coming up, and obviously the rumor mill's circulating that your hometown could be a venue choice in March. You can't look too far ahead just yet. Obviously, as you know, with the Liam Dillon fight last time around, but that's the perfect Christmas present for you in some ways. They finally be getting the fight in Dublin. Like you nearly sort of go, what have I done wrong in life somewhere here? This homecoming hasn't happened, but it looks like potentially, fingers crossed, Dublin's going to be next.
Yeah, well, I've got a great team around me at the moment, and we're all working extremely hard to make it happen. I think it's gonna happen. It is gonna happen. It is gonna happen. I'm gonna make it happen, and we'll be going to Dublin. Obviously, Queensberry is going to announce that before I do, but it's gonna be a massive big fight as well. And we're hoping to get some sort of big title on the line as well for us. So yeah, that's where we are. I think it's gonna be, if it does come off, it's gonna be tremendous. It's gonna be tremendous.
Will it feel more special to you, Pierce, that the what you've had to come through to get to this, where where Frank's been out publicly before and going, we're going to Dublin next, we're going to Dublin next, and it hasn't happened. Now that it happens, now from what you've had to get through to get here, will it feel even more special for you?
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what? I'm the only Irish fighter from Ireland that hasn't fought in Dublin, and it's in my back garden, which sounds absolutely crazy. Crazy to think that I'm the only fighter that hasn't fought in Ireland, which is 200 meters away in a venue that which is 200 meters away from my home. That's insane, crazy. Even when I was there with watching Katie Taylor, and I went to her twice, and you know what? I couldn't even enjoy it because everyone was hounding me. When you here, when you here, and that was one of the reasons why I never went to Mick Collins' fight, because I would have got hounded out of it.
Mm.
So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna watch this on TV, which I love Mick. I love watching them. I was like, do you know what? I can't even bother. I'm gonna have to just stay here, and that's what I done. I stayed in the house and watched it on TV.
It's so tough, but as a fighter, where you have dreams of it happening and not happening, and then you just can't take yourself to a venue because people's going to keep asking you the questions, and sometimes people don't know how annoying it can be. And it's not that you're saying to them just leave me alone, but it's everybody's going to keep asking the same question. You're going, well, I have the same question too, but I just don't have the answer.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. It can be, and it's not. But you know what? The good thing about it is they're paying attention. The fans are paying attention to it, and they're interested in it, and they want to go to one of your fights, and that's the beauty of it, and that's the reason why they are, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I don't get really annoyed and in a way of like say blank them. You can't. They're your fans at the end of the day, and they just love boxing. Do you know what I mean? And they're tremendous. The Irish fans, everybody here says, there's a few British fighters who I spoke to, and they said about when he fought in Ireland and he fought abroad, all over the world, and like there's nowhere like fighting in Dublin. Say that again. Like so, they are the fans. They are. It is the place to be. Look, we can be honest now, Jay. We do this and we crack this now. Dublin's gonna be in my home forever. We won't need to leave Dublin.
Yeah.
We'll probably end up doing about 8 to 10,000 seats, I reckon.
It's going to be a special moment, but I guess you can't look
Yeah.
past Saturday. Obviously, you have to look at your opponent Saturday night first before you can turn your attention to that. What would you say to
Absolutely.
anybody that's sort of going to have a few extra pound coming up to Christmas? Hold fire, keep your money in your pocket because the tickets are going to be wildfire.
Oh, I mean, there's going to be more fights outside the venue before there is in the venue. Do you know? So, yeah, and it's just like once announcement happens where we know where we're at, then that's it. Then the tickets be on sale and the media, the merchandise, yeah, it'd be tremendous. And also, if I think we're gonna do, I think we might be doing 5 weeks in Liverpool, 4 or 5 weeks in Liverpool, and 5 weeks in Dublin for a training camp. So we'll be doing public workouts in the gym. We'll be training together. We'll be doing runs together. We'll be opening up postcode at the boxing gym. Meet up there certain days, go running. So yeah, there'll be a lot to look forward to of going back home to Dublin.
Definitely. Well, look, I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Obviously, it's your last Sunday of peace before fight night on Saturday. Great to get a catch up with you. It's been too long, but obviously, unfortunately, you just don't have enough fight sometimes. There's no real thing to speak of. There's a previous fight, and that's like when the only fight. Don't know. At least we've sort of nailed it all in one. But
Yeah,
thanks as always for your time. Obviously, especially so close to fight night. Obviously, do the business on Saturday night, and
100%.
we'll see you in Dublin very, very soon.
Depo, thanks, Dave. Thanks for your time. Thanks for reaching out and getting an interview on me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my Speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, take care. Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.